Here's one sailing in Hurricane Gulch off of Sausalito, California, an area known for its powerful gusts. And this shows how the trimaran differs from the catamaran. The lee float will submerge without flying the main hull. It tells the sailor clearly that the boat is being overdriven. Time to release the sheets, and she pops up and... But just how far can you push it? Well, well beyond the point where a beach cat would capsize. Note that the bow is not diving, water is not entering the cockpit. And yet, when the sheet is released, she pops up and takes off again. But Steve Short decides to reef the sail and avoid such shenanigans. Let's start with our early Windrider 16 product testing. No damage to the boat, but I did damage the dock. Here's an early Windrider 16 sailing in the Florida Keys with an approaching squall. Note that she is wisely reefed down by rolling up part of the mainsail around the mast. This vessel has the wave-piercing bows of the Tuvalu proas that we saw in Chapter 17. She also features the steeply arched crossbeams of the prehistoric Balinese trimarans, all combined with the sit-in or so-called armchair sailing ergonomics of modern sea kayak. We also wanted easy trailering, and heck, we found we don't even need a launching ramp. Note the compact package for the highway. Well, by now we were feeling pretty good about this little boat, so we decided to try her out in some bigger water. How about the Golden Gate? A nice mild day. This is the water where the early modern trimarans were first developed back in the 1950s. And I happened to have been there then, and it was great to get back in this water. We sailed out against the light breeze, but with the tide. And then we were able to turn around and surf back in. The little buggers sure could slide along effortlessly. So we took them down to Monterey, California, and went dancing around in the harbor for a while. But boy, this kind of sailing is fun. So next we decided to get a whole gaggle of them together and make the run from Miami to Key West. 19 boats for the first Florida Keys adventure cruise in Windrider 16s. Now there's something rather zenny about sailing single-handed, even in a group, but by now the dealers were asking for a Windrider that would carry a family of 4. So up at the factory in North Carolina, that's what was going on. This is the cast aluminum mold for the Windrider 17. Here's a look at the process of rotational molding. There's a measured amount of granular polyethylene poured into the mold, and then the thing is closed up like a giant clamshell and lifted into an oven where it rotates like a chicken on a spit. The oven door is closed and the heat gets turned on, and the mold gets hot, beginning to melt the polyethylene. And as the mold rotates through a puddle of molten plastic, the oven rocks from end to end to evenly coat the inside of the mold with an even layer of plastic. After about 45 minutes in the oven, the mold is then removed and rotated over a bank of cooling fans. Then the giant clamshell is opened again, and out pops the first main hull for the Windrider 17. It was 2002, and now we had a real boat under us. But then the next thing we knew, there were Windriders all over the place. They were even having regattas. This one on North Carolina's Outer Banks. Here come the 17s starting a race in light airs. And here comes the winner, reefed down in a real breeze. Here comes another one, and note that he's pushing it pretty hard here. But unlike a beach cat in these conditions, there's no propensity to nosedive and pitch pole. But people soon discovered that the real difference in the Windriders was their ergonomics. You've got a padded armchair. You're captured up to your rib cage so you can't fall out. It's very comfortable. You have your feet down in the hull on the steering pedals. And you have all the controls right at your fingertips. Because you're steering with your feet, you've got both hands free. So you can trim the main, tack the jib, pull it in on the other side. Everything comes right to you, including the controls for the outboard motor.